If he is on your mind, understand this: thoughts are not weak. Thoughts are energy. When someone stays constantly in your mind, it is not random. It means there is a deep emotional and spiritual connection. Your focus, your emotions, your prayers, and even your worries create invisible waves that travel far beyond what your eyes can see. When you think about someone again and again, you are sending energy toward them. That energy can bring comfort, strength, and sometimes even healing. That is why suddenly they feel restless, emotional, or drawn toward you without knowing why. Your thoughts reach them before your words ever do. But here is the real truth: whatever you constantly focus on begins to grow. If you focus on love, love increases. If you focus on fear, fear grows. If you focus on doubt, doubt becomes stronger. So when someone is always on your mind, ask yourself, what am I sending? Peace or pain? Hope or hurt? Sometimes God places someone on your heart for a reason. It could be to pray for them. It could be to forgive them, or it could be to let them go. Not every connection is meant to last forever, but every connection is meant to teach you something. If someone lives in your thoughts, it means they have touched your soul. And when two souls are connected, distance does not matter. Time does not matter. Silence does not matter. Energy still flows, but remember this: never lose yourself while thinking about someone else. Your purpose, your dreams, and your growth must always come first. You can care deeply, but you must also protect your peace. If he is on your mind, understand this deeply: thoughts are not weak and they are never empty. Every thought carries energy, emotion, and intention. When someone stays on your mind again and again, it is not by accident. It means there is a strong emotional or spiritual connection that exists beyond words. Your mind becomes a bridge, and through that bridge, feelings travel. That is why sometimes you feel their presence even when they are far away. That is why memories suddenly appear, emotions rise, and your heart feels heavy or warm without any clear reason. It is the silent language of connection, and it speaks louder than spoken words. When you constantly think about someone, you are sending them energy. You are sending them your emotions, your care, your worries, your hopes, and your love. Even if they are not aware of it consciously, they feel it subconsciously. They may suddenly think about you, feel restless, miss you, or feel emotional without knowing why. This is because human hearts are deeply connected, and energy always finds its way. Science calls it emotional bonding, psychology calls it attachment, and faith calls it a spiritual connection. Whatever you name it, the truth remains the same. Your thoughts reach them. What you focus on begins to grow inside you. If your mind is filled with love, compassion, and kindness, your heart becomes soft and peaceful. If your thoughts are full of fear, jealousy, anger, or doubt, your soul becomes heavy. This is why it is so important to guard your thoughts. When someone is on your mind, your emotional state becomes connected to them. Their happiness can lift you up, and their sadness can bring you down. Slowly, without realizing it, your inner world starts revolving around them. This is powerful, but it can also be dangerous if you lose control of your focus. Sometimes a person stays on your mind because they have taught you something important. Maybe they showed you what love feels like. Maybe they showed you what pain feels like. Maybe they helped you understand your own strength, patience, or limits. Not every person enters your life to stay forever. Some come to awaken you, to heal you, or to prepare you for something greater. When they leave, their memory remains, not to hurt you, but to remind you of the lesson you were meant to learn. There are moments when someone remains in your thoughts because your heart is searching for closure. You want answers, understanding, or peace. You replay conversations, memories, and moments hoping to find clarity. This is natural. The mind wants resolution. The heart wants peace. But sometimes closure does not come from another person. It comes from acceptance. It comes from understanding that not everything that ends was a failure. Some endings are simply a redirection towards something better. Thinking deeply about someone can make you feel connected, but it should never make you feel lost. You must never forget who you are. Your dreams, your goals, your values, and your purpose should always come first. Loving someone, caring for someone, or missing someone should not cost you your identity. You deserve peace. You deserve growth. You deserve happiness that is not dependent on someone else's presence or absence. When your thoughts revolve around becoming better, stronger, and wiser, your entire life begins to change. You start attracting peace instead of chaos. You start attracting clarity instead of confusion. You start attracting people who respect your heart instead of testing it. This is the power of focused thinking. What you feed your mind shapes your reality. Sometimes God places someone on your mind to remind you to pray for them, Sometimes it is to help you forgive them, and sometimes it is to help you release them. Letting go does not mean you never care. It means you care enough to choose peace over pain. It means you trust that what is meant for you will find you, and what is not meant for you will slowly fade away. Distance cannot break a true connection, but growth can transform it. As you grow, you begin to understand what you truly deserve. You begin to choose peace over drama, clarity over confusion, and purpose over attachment. And in that growth, some connections naturally change. Some fade, some strengthen, and some transform into beautiful memories that no longer hurt. Your mind is powerful. It creates your emotions, your actions, and your future. So be gentle with it. Choose thoughts that heal, not thoughts that harm. Choose memories that inspire, not memories that break you. Choose faith over fear, hope over doubt, and love over resentment. If someone is on your mind, send them good energy. Wish them well. Pray for their peace. But do not pause your life for them. Keep moving forward. Keep growing. Keep believing in your journey. Because the moment you fully focus on becoming your best self, everything in your life begins to align naturally. And in that alignment, you will find peace, strength, and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. If he is on your mind, it means your heart has opened a door that your mind cannot easily close. Thoughts do not appear without reason. They are born from emotions, memories, hopes, and connections that run deeper than logic. When someone occupies your mind again and again, it is because your soul has recognized something meaningful in them. It could be love, pain, attachment, or unfinished emotions. Whatever it is, it holds power, and that power shapes the way you feel, think, and move through your life. Every thought carries energy. When you think about someone repeatedly, you are sending that energy in their direction. You are sending feelings that can comfort them, disturb them, or pull them towards you without either of you realizing it. That is why people sometimes think about each other at the same moment or feel sudden emotions. Connected to someone far away, there is a silent exchange happening, one that does not need words, messages, or presence. Hearts communicate in ways that the mind cannot fully explain. But there is a deeper lesson hidden in these thoughts. When someone stays in your mind, they begin to shape your emotional world. Your happiness starts to depend on their mood, your peace on their actions, and your hope on their response. Slowly, you begin to lose balance. You begin to give more energy to them than to yourself. This is where awareness becomes important. Loving, caring, and missing someone are natural, but losing yourself in those emotions is not. You must remember that your life, your growth, and your purpose are just as important as any connection. Often, the mind holds on because the heart is searching for answers. You replay moments, conversations, and memories, hoping to understand what went wrong, what could have been different, or what might still be possible. This endless loop can drain your energy and cloud your clarity. The truth is, not every question gets an answer. Not every story gets a perfect ending. Sometimes peace comes from acceptance, not explanation. It comes from understanding that some chapters close so that better ones can begin. There are people who enter your life only for a season. They come to teach you patience, strength, self-respect, or forgiveness. They show you parts of yourself that you did not know existed. When their role is complete, they leave, but the lessons remain. The mind holds on to them because the soul is still learning. Once the lesson is understood, the grip of those thoughts slowly loosens, and your heart finds freedom. It is important to understand that your focus determines your direction. What you constantly think about becomes the center of your emotional universe. If your thoughts are filled with regret, sadness, and longing, your life begins to reflect those emotions. But if you shift your focus toward growth, healing, and hope, your inner world begins to transform. This does not mean forgetting the past. It means learning from it and choosing not to live in it. When someone is on your mind, ask yourself what that connection is teaching you. Is it teaching you to love more deeply? Is it teaching you to set boundaries? Is it teaching you to value yourself? Every emotional experience carries wisdom, but only if you are willing to look beyond the pain or attachment and see the lesson within it. Your mind is a powerful tool. It can build dreams, create peace, and shape a beautiful future. But it can also trap you in memories, regrets, and fears. The choice of how you use it belongs to you. You could allow thoughts to control your emotions, or you can learn to guide your thoughts toward healing and strength. This shift does not happen overnight, but every small effort brings you closer to emotional freedom. Sometimes the hardest part is letting go of what once felt right, but letting go does not mean erasing memories. It means releasing the emotional hold they have on you. It means understanding that what once served you may no longer be meant to stay. Growth requires space, and sometimes that space can only be created by releasing old attachments. As you move forward, remember to be kind to yourself. Healing is not linear. Some days you will feel strong, and other days the memories will return. This does not mean you are failing. It means you are human. Each day you choose to rise, to hope, and to believe in your journey, you take another step toward peace. If someone is on your mind, let that thought become a reminder to nurture your own heart. Let it inspire you to become wiser, gentler, and stronger. Let it push you towards self-discovery instead of self-doubt. Because when you focus on becoming your best self, the mind slowly releases what no longer serves your growth, and in that release, you find clarity, peace, and a deeper connection with your true purpose. If he is on your mind, it is because your heart has not finished speaking. Thoughts rise when emotions are unfinished, when something inside you still wants to understand, feel, or connect. The mind replays moments, memories, and words because the heart is searching for meaning. This does not make you weak. It makes you human. Every deep connection leaves an imprint, and that imprint stays until its purpose is fulfilled. When someone stays in your thoughts, it is a sign that their presence touched your life in a meaningful way. It could have been love, care, comfort, or even pain, but whatever it was, it awakened something inside you. That awakening changes you. You begin to see the world differently, feel more deeply, and understand emotions more clearly. That is why the mind returns to that person again and again, trying to hold on to the feeling they once brought. There is a powerful exchange of energy that happens through thought. When you think about someone, you send out emotional waves that travel beyond distance. Even if you never speak to them, that energy still reaches them. This is why sometimes people suddenly think about each other at the same moment or feel a deep emotional shift without knowing why. Hearts have a language of their own, one that does not need words or presence to communicate. But there is a delicate balance that must be maintained. While connection is beautiful, attachment can become heavy. When someone occupies too much space in your mind, your own peace can begin to fade. Your happiness may start to depend on their actions, their attention, or their feelings. Slowly, you place their emotional state above your own, and in doing so, you lose a part of yourself. True connection should bring peace, not anxiety. It should add to your life, not consume it. The mind often clings to what it cannot change. It holds on to memories because they feel safe, familiar, and comforting, even if they also carry pain. Letting go feels like stepping into the unknown, and the unknown is frightening. So the mind chooses what it knows, even if it hurts. But growth begins when you choose healing over familiarity and courage over comfort. Sometimes someone remains on your mind because you are still carrying unanswered questions. You wonder what went wrong, what could have been different, or what might still happen. This endless questioning can trap you in a cycle of hope and disappointment. But clarity does not always come from answers. Often it comes from acceptance. It comes from understanding that not every story is meant to have a perfect ending, and not every connection is meant to last forever. There are people who enter your life to show you what love looks like, and others who show you what self-respect means. Some teach you patience, while others teach you boundaries. Every encounter carries a lesson, and every lesson shapes your character. When you recognize the lesson, the emotional hold begins to weaken, and your heart slowly finds peace. Your thoughts are the foundation of your emotional world. They shape your beliefs, your reactions, and your future. If your mind is filled with longing, regret, and sorrow, your heart becomes heavy. But if your thoughts are guided toward growth, gratitude, and hope, your spirit becomes light. This is why it is so important to become aware of where your mind spends its time. Healing does not mean forgetting. It means remembering without pain. It means being able to look back without losing your balance. It means understanding that what once mattered deeply still holds value, but it no longer controls your present. This kind of healing takes time, patience, and compassion for yourself. There will be days when memories return unexpectedly. A song, a place, or a simple word can bring everything back. In those moments, do not judge yourself. Allow the feeling to pass through you without holding on to it. Emotions are meant to be felt, not trapped. When you let them flow, they lose their power over you. As you grow, your priorities change. You begin to value peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, and purpose over attachment. You start to understand that your life has a direction beyond any single person. Your dreams, your goals, and your journey deserve your full attention. When you honor that, the mind slowly releases what no longer serves your growth. If someone is on your mind, let it remind you of your capacity to feel deeply. Let it teach you empathy, patience, and strength. But do not allow it to hold you back. Your life is waiting for you to fully step into it. And when you do, you will discover that the space once filled with longing can become a place of peace, wisdom, and renewed purpose. If He is on your mind, it means your heart is still carrying His presence, even in His absence. Thoughts do not come without a reason. They rise from emotional bonds, from shared moments, from hopes that once felt real, and from connections that touch something deep inside you. When a person keeps appearing in your thoughts, it is because a part of you is still connected to them, still remembering, still feeling, and still searching for understanding. The mind has a powerful way of holding on to what once mattered. It replays memories not to hurt you, but to protect you from forgetting something that shaped who you are. Every emotional experience leaves a mark, and those marks stay until their purpose is fulfilled. That purpose might be to teach you patience, to show you your emotional depth, or to help you understand what you truly deserve. Even pain carries wisdom if you are willing to look for it. When you think about someone deeply, you send emotional energy toward them. This energy does not depend on distance or time. It flows silently, creating a sense of connection that words cannot explain. That is why sometimes you feel their presence even when they are far away. You may suddenly think about them, dream about them, or feel a wave of emotion without any clear cause. These experiences are reminders that emotional bonds are powerful and lasting. However, it is important to remember that while connection is beautiful, attachment can become heavy. If someone occupies too much space in your mind, your inner peace can slowly disappear. Your happiness may begin to depend on their actions, their attention, and their feelings. This creates emotional imbalance. True peace comes when you are able to care without losing yourself, to love without sacrificing your identity, and to remember without being trapped in the past. The heart often holds on because it is afraid to let go. Letting go feels like losing a part of yourself. But in reality, letting go is not about forgetting. It is about releasing control. It is about trusting that what is meant for you will stay and what is not will leave, making room for something better. This trust is not easy, but it is necessary for growth. Sometimes a person remains on your mind because you are still carrying unanswered questions. You wonder why things happened the way they did, what you could have done differently, or what might have been if circumstances had changed. These thoughts can trap you in a cycle of regret and longing. But clarity does not always come from answers. Often it comes from acceptance. It comes from understanding that some stories end not because they failed, but because their role in your life was complete. There are connections that are meant to last a lifetime, and there are connections that are meant to transform you. Both are valuable. Those who stay off of comfort and stability, those who leave off of lessons and growth. Without both, you would not become the person you are meant to be. Every emotional experience, whether joyful or painful, contributes to your inner strength. Your thoughts shape your emotional world. They influence how you see yourself, how you treat others, and how you respond to challenges. When your mind is filled with longing, your heart becomes restless. But when your thoughts are guided toward hope, gratitude, and purpose, your spirit becomes calm. This shift in focus can transform your entire life. It helps you move forward instead of remaining stuck in memories. Healing is a gradual process. It does not happen in a single moment or through a single decision. Some days you will feel strong, and other days the memories will return with unexpected intensity. This does not mean you are failing. It means you are human. Each time you choose to rise above the pain, you build resilience. Each time you choose hope over despair, you strengthen your spirit. As you grow, you begin to understand the value of emotional independence. You learn that your happiness does not need to depend on someone else's presence. You discover that peace comes from within. This realization empowers you. It allows you to love freely without fear, to remember without regret, and to move forward without hesitation. If someone is on your mind, let that thought become a reminder of your capacity to feel deeply and love sincerely. Let it teach you compassion, patience, and strength. But do not allow it to hold you back from living fully. Your journey is still unfolding, and your story is far from complete. The space once filled with longing can become a place of growth, wisdom, and renewed purpose, guiding you toward a future that holds peace, fulfillment, and clarity. If He is on your mind, it is because something unfinished still lives in your heart. Thoughts do not return again and again without a reason. They rise from emotions that were once powerful, from moments that felt meaningful, and from connections that shaped the way you see the world. When a person continues to appear in your thoughts, it is a sign that your heart has not yet released the emotional bond it formed. This does not mean you are weak or stuck. It means you are human, capable of deep feeling, deep attachment, and deep reflection. The mind holds on to memories because they carry emotional safety, even when they bring pain. Familiar emotions, even painful ones, feel more comfortable than uncertainty. This is why the mind replays the past. It searches for understanding, closure, or a sense of control. It hopes that by revisiting memories, it can change the outcome or discover a new meaning. But the past cannot be changed, and peace cannot be found by reliving what is already gone. Peace comes when you learn to accept what was and trust what will be. When you think about someone, you are sending emotional energy toward them. Even if they are far away, that energy still exists. Human connection does not depend only on physical presence. It is built through shared emotions, experiences, and understanding. That is why sometimes you feel a sudden wave of emotion without any clear reason. It is the echo of a connection that once mattered. This silent exchange of energy reminds us that hearts can remain connected long after paths have separated. However, emotional attachment must be balanced with self-awareness. When someone occupies too much space in your mind, it can affect your peace, your focus, and your sense of self. You may begin to measure your worth through their attention, your happiness through their presence, and your hope through their actions. Slowly, your emotional world starts to revolve around them, and your own needs are pushed aside. This imbalance can drain your energy and weaken your sense of identity. True emotional strength lies in caring deeply while still standing firmly in your own worth. Letting go is one of the hardest things the heart can learn. It feels like losing a part of yourself. But in reality, letting go is an act of courage. It is choosing peace over pain, growth over comfort, and clarity over confusion. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means releasing the emotional grip that keeps you tied to the past. It means understanding that what once mattered deeply can still be honored without controlling your present. Often, a person remains on your mind because there are unanswered questions. You wonder why things happened the way they did, what could have been done differently, or what might still be possible. These thoughts create an endless loop of hope and regret, but closure does not always come from answers. Sometimes it comes from acceptance. It comes from trusting that everything happened as it was meant to, even if you cannot yet understand. The reason every connection carries a lesson. Some teach you love, some teach you patience, and some teach you self-respect. Without these lessons, growth would not be possible. The people who enter and leave your life shape your emotional intelligence and strengthen your character. When you recognize the lesson behind the connection, the emotional weight begins to lift and your heart slowly finds peace. Your thoughts shape your emotional reality. They influence how you feel, how you react, and how you move forward. If your mind is filled with longing and regret, your spirit becomes heavy. But when your thoughts are guided toward gratitude, healing, and purpose, your inner world begins to transform. This shift does not happen instantly. It requires patience, self-compassion, and consistent effort. Each small step toward emotional clarity brings you closer to peace. Healing is not a straight path. Some days you will feel strong, hopeful, and free. Other days memories will return and emotions will feel intense. This does not mean you are moving backward. It means you are processing. Growth involves revisiting emotions, understanding them, and releasing them little by little. Over time, the weight becomes lighter and the mind learns to rest. As you continue your journey, remember that your life has a purpose beyond any single connection. Your dreams, your goals, and your personal growth deserve your full attention. When you focus on becoming your best self, the mind gradually releases what no longer serves you. In that release, you find freedom, clarity, and a deeper sense of peace. The space once filled with longing becomes a space for hope, strength, and new beginnings, guiding you toward a future that reflects your true worth and potential.